In this video, I'm going to show you how to use automation for both volume on your track, your program, and parameters for anything that you felt like automating, such as panning or any of the parameters on any of the synths that we have. The first thing I want to do is add a little life to our main synth so that it's not static the whole time. Now, what I mean by this is we have some built-in controls inside the Hybrid 3 that are actually called morph at the bottom, and these are pretty cool. So you could automate waveforms, and you can automate distortion, and you can automate reverb, and you can do all this stuff to give your tracks life, give them growth, give them something that changes over time so it's not just the same thing, especially when it's a loop. So let's navigate to the chorus. And we're going to pick our motif synth. All right, and then what we're going to want to do here is pull up the program. And you notice here at the bottom we have morph 1. So I'm going to solo the track and hit play, and then I'm going to use the morph and show you what it sounds like. So it's a pretty cool effect built into the preset it already has. So let's actually put that to use. So what we need to do here first is we're going to use the Q-Link faders right here. All right, so just click any of them. You notice that the Q-Link now changes right here. You could, of course, have gone in here and adjusted it by the mouse, but I think clicking is faster. And then you want to go over here to params. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom. As you can see, you can automate anything you want. And I'm going to pick morph 1. So notice now we have the control for morph 1 here. So let's hit play again. Okay, so to begin recording automation on a track, we need to turn this, the automation button, to red for record. Green would be read or playback of automation, and gray would be ignore. Now all we have to do is hit play and then jump in with an overdub, and then we can adjust the Q-Link as needed throughout. So what I'm going to do is go through one full turn here, and then as all the other elements start to come in at the B section of the chorus, bar 9, I'm going to start writing up on the morph function so that as it progresses from bar 9 to the end of bar 16, it has a growth. Now let's go into the read mode. Okay, so now you won't mess it up if you change it. And then what I want to do here is let's collapse our plugin. And as you notice, I've got a little bit of a change here that I wasn't looking for. So we can do a couple things. We can either rewrite it, we can delete it and start over again, or really any of those things. So if you wanted to delete it, click inside this window, select all, and then hit delete, and all of your automation will go away. Of course, if you want to add other layers here, you can go into the tab right here. And then, of course, you can pick anything available that you want to automate. So now another cool thing that you might want to do is, let's say, put a low-pass filter on several elements. And then towards the end of the phrase, we could adjust the low-pass filter to go way lower and kind of add a filtering out effect over, say, a kick drum fill or anything else we've done. So your options here are only limited by your imagination, and I suggest you delve into this and create some really unique qualities for your mixes. The next thing we're going to do is show you how to do the same thing with volumes. So first, let's correct this mistake we had here. All right, all I did was use the marquee tool and delete them. And now let's go into our track mix. And now what we can do is have access to actually write volume automation. All right, it's the same basic premise. And as you can see, we're going to reach up here to Programs under the Mixer function, and we're going to go to Tracks. Now all we have to do is locate the track number. As you can see, it's already highlighted for us because it was the last parameter we adjusted. So that's our theme synth on track 6. So now look at the corresponding track. 6 would be here, 6. And you have ability to write that automation from the knob. So now our goal here is pretty simple. There's two things that are going to happen. Consider that the hybrid's program volume is the maximum volume you're going to get, and then use the track volume to go to the bottom of the volume you want to get, and then automate between the two of them. The reason is the top of the fader on the track can only ever be the maximum of what the hybrid volume is set at on the hybrid program fader. So let's do that in practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our hybrid itself, and we're going to adjust this volume until it sits at the top at the end of our phrase. Now we'll go into track mix, and we're going to adjust the track mix volume down until we find the bass level we want at the beginning of the sequence. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to hit play start and then overdub, and we're going to write the difference between the two volume points using a fade up. So now quick, let's jump over to our main page again. And we're going to change automation to record. All right, let's go back to track mix. And now we're going to hit play start, overdub in, and then write the fade up. All right, we'll go back to the main page. And as you notice, now we have a new volume automation lane that automatically came in, and there's our sweep right there. So now if you wanted to adjust this, you can click it, drag it, use the marquee tool, add or remove points from it in the same manner as we did for the Morph 1 automation. So now let's say that we're pretty happy with where our track is at, and we're ready to ship off a version of it to our singer so that she can practice and get ready for the tracking session we're going to have later on. So now what we need to do is we need to print a version of a mixdown. So now there's only one real constant that you need to worry about in the realm of digital recording and the master bus in general. Whenever you're printing, you want to make sure that you don't clip the master bus. So now if you have some really cool aftermarket brick wall limiters, such as a Slate FGX or a Waves L3 or a FabFilter Pro L, you could pop one of those on your master insert. And then, of course, you'd have protection from any clips or overages that you might have during the mixdown process. I would recommend this. However, just using the stock plugins, there isn't a plugin included in the bundle that acts as a brick wall limiter. So the best thing to do is go down here to your master level volume, and you want to click this meter, and then watch the loudest part of your song, and then as soon as these red go to 0, and your peaks are no longer in the red, then you're safe to do a mixdown. Okay, looks like we're just under clipping now, and at least it's good enough for the song we're going to send to our singer. So now we're going to go up into song mode. All right, and then go back into File, and we are going to export as an audio mixdown. Now at the top, you'll see under audio length, we're going to start at bar 1 and end at bar 122. Now, of course, you have a ton of options here for if you want to export stems or do an audio mixdown. But for our purposes, this is essentially a rough mix that our singer's going to practice to. So let's do it in the Red Book audio format for CDs, which is a wave at 16 bits and 44.1 kilohertz. And now hit export. And we're going to title it. And let's put it on the desktop. And as you can see, we get an offline bounce at faster than real time. Now that our song's completed exporting, we're ready to go. In the next video, we're going to cover routing the tracks individually into your DAW of choice.